Welcome back to Lonely Man BGs, and this video on how to play Maize Craze, a dice rolling game for up to 6 players from One Day West Games. In Maize Craze, players will attempt to navigate a pre-configured maze pattern, rolling their dice to achieve the proper values in order to place those dice on their player boards. The game is played over 6 rounds, and players earn points by placing the correct dice within the randomized pattern and by being the first to navigate the maze correctly. To set up, players will each take one player board, along with 8 of the same colored dice of their choice. 6 maze cards are then chosen, which are placed in a stack face up on the table for all players to see. Each maze card has 2 sides, with the white dice considered to be the easier of the 2 sides, and the side with the black dice more difficult. Next, 6 round cards are also chosen and placed in a face-up stack for all players to see. For players' first game, it is recommended to use the standard round card for all 6 rounds of the first game. Each player will then take a single green meeple and a single red meeple. These will be placed in the starting locations on their player board, which will match the position shown on the maze card. The scarecrow meeples can be placed to the side for use in certain round cards. Finally, the player who will begin the countdown is the person who most recently navigated an actual corn maze. At the beginning of each round, players will confirm they have the proper number of dice, aligning their own quantity with the number in the upper corner of the current maze card. Unused dice can be set aside for a later round. Players will then look at the conditions listed on the round card. If using the standard play, the round is played normally, placing dice from the start of the maze to the finish without interruption. Now the first player says 3, 2, 1, go, and the race begins. All players begin simultaneously rolling their dice, which must be placed in the correct order to complete the maze card. In this example, the players must roll a 3, a 1, another 1, and a 5 to complete the maze. So far, this player has completed the first 2 steps of the maze. Players will continually re-roll their dice until they achieve their desired value for the next step of the maze. Note that the maze begins at the green start meeple and ends at the red meeple. Players may not place the next die in the sequence until each previous space is filled, but they can choose to bank dice off to the side for any future placements. Players will continue rolling their unplaced dice until the first person to complete the maze card shouts Maize Craze, which is then confirmed. If their board is correct, players move to scoring. If their board is incorrect, all dice back to the last correct die placed are removed, and then play will resume again by countdown. At the end of a round, scores are taken. For each die that is correctly placed on a player's board, they receive 1 point, and if they are the player who shouted Maize Craze successfully, that player will score an additional 2 bonus points. Players will then prepare the next round by revealing a new maze card with a differing sequence, repositioning their green and red meeples to match. A new round card with different conditions and requirements for dice placement is also revealed. An example of this might be the Hayride round card, where players will each take a scarecrow meeple, and before moving each rolled die to place on their player board, they must give that scarecrow a hayride. This will be performed for all dice placed during this round. At the end of 6 rounds, players will total up their points, with the highest score winning. Thanks for watching this video on Maize Craze, and be sure to check out the links in the description to learn more about this game.